Tonight on DC News Now, calling for change. The protests in Virginia demanding better conditions at an ICE facility in Chantilly.
As we look ahead towards your Thursday, we're tracking some storm chances and also some hotter temperatures. The latest details coming up.
Also, a new collective bargaining agreement for D.C. police.
It will do something to stabilize the staffing of the department.
The raises police officers will see as the department tries to fill 800 vacancies.
A controversial decision to eliminate vaccine mandates in Florida.
If everybody just makes individual choices, we're not thinking about our neighbors, and we have to think about our neighbors.
The concerns around the DMV if other states start to follow suit.
And we're stretching your dollar as we hit the grocery store. How you can use AI to whip up some recipes.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
I'm Mark Hall. Susan Tran has the night off. Dozens of people gathered near the ICE office in Chantilly, Virginia earlier today.
Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
We've been seeing people brought here and left here for days.
They are protesting what they call inhumane conditions for people being held inside. DC News Now's Yamari Sase was at the protest and is live near the ICE office.
Yamari, what did protesters tell you?
Yeah, well, protesters say the conditions inside this ICE facility right here in Chantilly are horrible. They claim that people who are being detained in here are only eating one meal a day. They're being packed into crowded rooms, and they don't even have access to showers. Now, they also say they're calling on lawmakers to step in and do something about it. Dozens of people stood along Lee Jackson Memorial Highway, just feet away from the ICE office in Chantilly, holding signs and calling for change.
We need ICE operations to end, not just here, across the nation.
Protesters say people being detained here are facing inhumane conditions.
Now they have started taking all of these people from D.C. and just dropping them off here with very little food, very little water, no beds.
During the protest, they played a recording of a man currently being detained inside the facility, describing his experience in Spanish.
They made us sleep on the floor. There was nothing, no medical attention. I'm still detained here. My son, he suffers for me. My wife, she suffers for me because I am their livelihood.
Protesters say they're not going to stop speaking out.
We want people to have access to their attorneys. We want to make sure that our legislators, including all the way down to the local board of supervisors, are coming out here and checking out this facility and seeing what's happening to our neighbors.
According to data the Deportation Data Project obtained from the federal government, ICE agents have made more than 4,000 arrests across Virginia since January. We reached out to ICE for comment about these concerns regarding the conditions, but have not heard back just yet.
We are demanding that ICE free them all right now.
Now, protesters say they'll continue to rally until conditions here at this ICE facility in Chantilly, Virginia, change. We're now reporting live in Chantilly. I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
All right, Yamari, thank you. Today, Virginia Democratic Senator Mark Warner says that he and Senator Tim Kaine are trying to visit that facility, and the remarks come a week after Warner toured the Farmville, Virginia Detention Center and met with Maryland Father Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Garcia has been detained by ICE pending federal human trafficking charges against him.
He feels very much that they are trying to pressure him to pleading guilty on some of the charges against him. I've been in a lot of jails and prisons. It wasn't by any means the worst. It wasn't the best. But I do think there are some basic things like not having curdled milk or making sure that you've got hand sanitizer and some of these things are not going to break the bank, but at least allow some level of humane treatment.
Abrego Garcia was wrongly deported to El Salvador earlier this year. Then he was brought back to face federal charges in Tennessee, and he was released into custody of his brother, but ICE detained him again. A judge has ordered ICE to not remove him from the U.S. while his trial is pending.
And developing now in Maryland, the search continues tonight for a missing Hyattsville woman. Prince George's County official telling us state police found a body of someone similar with characteristics to 19-year-old Dakara Richardson. But police are still working the missing persons case. Richardson was last seen August 22nd. Ahead in 10 minutes, our Daniel Hamburg has much more on the search efforts. Let's take a live look outside of the National Cathedral on this Wednesday night. A bit warmer than we've had the last several nights. Not much rain on the radar, but they could be changing. A storm could be heading our way.
Let's get a check on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jackie Leah.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be tracking more of that wet weather on the way for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, though, is going to be hotter than the day today, even though today felt a little bit hotter and also just a touch more muggy out there, too. I mean, temperatures out there right now, we're into those 60s and 70s, lower 70s right now in D.C., upper 60s, though, back out towards Manassas, Waldorf, and we're seeing those dew points creeping up ever so slightly. We're getting close to those 60-degree dew points, which is feeling a bit more on the muggier side. We'll certainly see a bit more of those 60s on the map for tomorrow. The radar out there right now, we did have a few of those rain showers back out towards western Maryland, parts of the eastern panhandle, but the rest of the area dry. That's going to be a different story as we look towards tomorrow afternoon with that cold front back out towards the west. As that swings through, shower and thunderstorm activity will likely follow, meaning we're going to be watching as those thunderstorms will start to bubble up into the afternoon tomorrow. So out ahead of the thunderstorms, though, winds will pick up as we look towards early tomorrow afternoon, likely out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour, but some of those gusts could be a bit stronger, especially with some of those thunderstorms that start to push their way in. Looking as early as noon along and west of the I-81 corridor, right around the middle of the afternoon, right around 3 p.m. west of D.C., likely between 4 and 6 p.m. right along the I-95 corridor. So right around that evening commute time frame, not ideal timing as those storms are expected to roll their way through. But more details on this, looking towards the rest of that 7-day coming up.
Or need kings, dictators. We don't need the National Guard in Chicago.
Well, leaders across the DMV are speaking out against President Trump's deployment of the National Guard troops.
The NAACP and ACLU joining D.C. Representative Eleanor Holmes Norton and Maryland Congressman Glenn Ivey on Capitol Hill, calling the move unnecessary and politically motivated.
Trump has used D.C. residents as props in a political play to showcase his own power.
Let's put more cops on the street instead of the fake show of National Guard troops walking around in tourist areas.
Well, they say that the Trump administration should focus on funding community policing instead of bringing troops into the city.
And the surge in federal agents helping D.C. police execute President Trump's crime crackdown. Now, the force is short 800 members, leading to more than 1 million hours of police overtime this fiscal year alone. All new tonight, D.C. police officers can expect a big pay boost starting next month. Mayor Muriel Bowser announcing a new labor agreement with D.C.'s police union. So officers, sergeants, lieutenants, and others will get a 13% pay increase starting October 1st. The goal, to help both recruit and retain officers as the department faces a staffing shortage. The force sits at nearly 3,200 officers, well below its goal of 4,000.
We're going to make sure that Washington, D.C. is the best big city to be a police officer. These pay increases are part of a larger comprehensive strategy to recruit and retain and reward our officers.
Well, the mayor also saying she's planning to increase the take-home vehicle program for officers that live in D.C. The contract does need to be approved by D.C. Council. It is set for an emergency vote on September 17th.
And news tonight, the University of District of Columbia announcing partnerships with D.C. Police thanks to a law that was passed over the summer. Police recruits can now earn up to 20 college credits while completing the police academy. Those 20 credits from the university will go toward the 60 credit requirement needed to become a police officer. And if you don't have the college credits, you must have 2 years of active military duty with an honorable discharge or 3 years experience with another police department. Well, last week, we talked with a former D.C. detective who says the 60 credit requirement is hurting recruitment efforts.
The difference in having a guy come in from Pennsylvania with a college education and a guy who grew up and went to, Eastern High School or to one of the local schools, it was worlds different for us. It made us better policemen. We were better investigators.
Yeah, Sutherland told us that he would like to see D.C. remove that college credit requirement altogether.
Well, developing now at 9, Florida plans to be the first state in the U.S. to eliminate child vaccine mandates. Physician groups and other health organizations have long considered vaccines both safe and the most effective way to stop the spread of communicable diseases.
Florida's Surgeon General announced the decision today, calling current requirements in schools immoral intrusions on people's rights, and the mandates hamper a parent's ability to make decisions for their own children. And the news could impact the nation already. Democratic governors of of Washington, Oregon, and California announced an alliance to safeguard health policies.
Yeah, our Ben Dennis joining us live tonight in Northwest. And Ben, there's a lot of pushback already here in the DMV against that plan.
That's right. Most of it from the medical field. They say that this is nothing but bad news for Florida, at least initially, and neighboring states in terms of the number of illnesses that kids and other people could contract. Now, back here at home, there's no evidence to suggest that D.C., Maryland, and Virginia could follow Florida. But what's happening in the Sunshine State, it's controversial. Decades of work to vaccinate children and prevent serious illness like measles, mumps, and polio may come to a screeching halt in Florida.
Working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law.
The Surgeon General there getting the approval of the governor. But pushback has been swift, including in the DMV.
I do believe in people's ability or right to choose what they want to do for their children. I will continue to have my child vaccinated.
I'm scared for our children's safety and health.
Mom of 2, Valentina Stackel, has concerns.
There's a lot of diseases that can be very dangerous, especially for immunocompromised children. And that's why it's so important that we have to have vaccines for these children.
Is this decision rooted in any scientific fact that it would keep kids safe?
No. Short answer.
Dr. Richard Ricari at George Washington University School of Nursing says the return on investment for vaccines is incredibly high. He also worries about people traveling unaware that they're sick.
They're going to be transmitting that on the subways or, on the trains, in the planes, in the automobiles, in restaurants.
It's one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard.
Howard County teacher Paul Lemley is president of the Maryland State Education Association. He's among those in teaching groups befuddled by the news out of Florida.
Maryland is a place that takes the health of its kids seriously. Obviously, Florida isn't that.
In Virginia, the president of the Arlington Education Association says if you subscribe to the idea that educating students must be a community effort, then there has to be a tacit agreement to keep each other safe. Dr. Riccardi says the best people to talk to about your family's health, that's a doctor, a physician, or nurse practitioner. I reached out to teachers in Florida. The Florida Education Association says in part, quote, is this really about keeping students safe, or is this simply about playing politics? In Northwest, Ben Dennis, back to you.
Meanwhile, countdown to kickoff. The Commanders back on the practice field today as they gear up to open their season at home Sunday against the New York Giants. Our sports director, Derek Forrest, will have much more on how the Burgundy and Gold is getting ready for the division rivals ahead at 10 o'clock and on game night over at 11. So football is here finally, and already they're 6-point favorites over the Giants.
Well, Chris, high expectations. The team's going to be a target this year, but I think they're up to the challenge.
Definitely.
I'm ready for kickoff.
We can't wait.